Okay, so most mask mandates and restrictions are gone, and yet we're being warned about rising COVID-19 infections. For instance, Ontario's COVID-19 Science Advisory Table said recently that it is very clear the province is in the midst of a sixth wave. So here we go again. Where do we go from here? How do you manage your anxiety around all of this?
It's very confusing, and I think it's very overwhelming for those of us who have taken this very seriously and have been kind of on lockdown for a long time and are just trying to emerge. I have a whole bunch of different feelings given the day and my mood, but I will say that it was helpful for me. I was listening to one of my favorite podcasts, 10% Happier, a couple of weeks ago, and they did an interview with a New York Times writer, David Leonhardt. And it's an incredible listen because he's very apolitical. And he talks a lot about how the way in which this virus has become politicized and how data has become skewed and people are very confused about messaging. But one of the things he said that really stuck out with me was that people who are not vaxxed or under-vaxxed are vastly underestimating the potential for coronavirus to impact their lives in a very profound way. But then he said people who are triple vaxxed and masking where they can are perhaps overestimating how bad it could be in their lives. And that helped me kind of just balance up being like, get to that point where it's like, okay, I am doing everything I can. I have done everything I can. Therefore, I'm protecting myself as much as I can. The dropping of the mask mandates, though, I still don't understand it. And I would love to ask people, I'm wandering around in Toronto seeing all people indoors without masks on, and I want to know, did you get it and you feel like this kind of sense of confidence, or are you just like done with masks? It seems like the simplest and easiest thing to do, and that I will continue to do. Hang on, I'm just going to go to Trudy on Facebook, who says, I get a COVID test every time I go and see my mother in long-term care. That alleviates some anxiety. I just had COVID at the beginning of March, so my immunity is strong, but for how long? I also don't watch the news, so it's very freeing. Well...
It's very well.
There's not a lot going on the news anymore anyway. So it's all kind of freeing and terrifying.
It's a good point because for me, I think a lot of us got really accustomed to the daily or almost daily updates when it came to numbers and what the prevalence of COVID was in your particular city or your particular province. And I think personally, it definitely helped me manage my day when I knew how much COVID is kind of floating out there and how much isn't. And we don't have that anymore. I don't know. This is just me spitballing, because sometimes I think, did every official get together and say, we're now going to this is the one message, everybody, from the same piece of paper. We're just going to let people figure it out for themselves. We've given them all the tools they need, and now they're on their own. Take the training wheels off the bike and off you go. Because I just feel like the very same people who were like, be careful, mask, all of the things are now like, you know what to do, and that's it. And I just sit there going, So I feel like a little bit like a baby who's been abandoned by their parents.
Very confusing.
Yeah,
it is very confusing. Although the way you just described it, I'm sure some people watching say, thank you.
Yes.
That's what I want. I want to just go about this on my own.
Because ignorance is bliss?
Or they're drinking from something else. I don't know. But that is the thing. Some people are welcoming this. And I, for one, I'm in a blended family. And so we have, from day one with this, have been taking into consideration sort of more layers and levels of risk factor, or even, are you COVID cautious? Are you COVID careless? Where do you fall? And how does that affect your family unit? So that's one. I see you, blended families. Mm-hmm. And two, like I was just thinking over the weekend, it was my dad's birthday. We wanted to get together. We did end up getting together. Thank goodness Mother Nature gave us a bit of a break and we could do so outside. But the layers of worry I had going into that, because, my brother and sister-in-law have a little child, and my parents, sorry, parents, you're a little older. And I'm worried. I don't necessarily worry about me and my unit, but I worry about what my unit might bring to their units. And so it makes me want to not celebrate my dad's birthday, which just breaks my heart, And I know those are very small sacrifices in the grand scheme of things, but those are all the constant wheels that are turning because we're not really, like you said, Mel, being given any guidance anymore in a way that we really were used to.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned your dad's birthday. My ma spent her birthday March 9th at Princess Margaret Cancer Center. So we had to jump through hoops to get all of us, Dad, me, and Yasik in. We wrote letters so that the hospital could have an exception, so that because you can only have two family members and not at the same time. Anyway, so these milestones for sure are being missed, and I can understand there are people out there who are like, that's why we don't want restrictions anymore. And I get that. Like, it's been so long. We've missed milestones, especially for people who are of a certain age group. So I'm very cautious, but I don't support bringing back certain restrictions like lockdowns. I understand why, for mental health reasons and for family reasons, people want to be out there in business. But like you, the mask thing is, I don't understand what the mask aversion is. That said, I think we can only make our own choices, right? Like Trudy made her choices, testing all the time and not watching the news. I think the choices I make are the places where I have to go. I'm going after hours.
Yeah.
Like certain things I am just starting to get back into the world. For example, very, very unimportant, innocuous thing, going to the nail bar.
Yeah.
I will only go Friday nights at 8 p.m. because nobody wants to be at the nail bar on a Friday night at 8 p.m.
Your nail bar is open at 8 p.m.?
Yes, the last appointment is the 8 p.m. If I can't get that appointment, then I won't go and I won't have my nails done.
And you're
I'm
masked.
Because nobody
you're
is in
double
there.
masked. I've seen you.
I actually double mask.
She's
yes.
double KN95.
Yes, I double mask. But yeah, I will only make that appointment. So that's my choice.
Right, you're mitigating your risk.
That's right.
And that makes sense for you. And that's what we're
Don't
having to
everybody
all...
start booking the appointment at 8 o'clock and taking my time, please.